Hi! Today's video is an overview of my most recent trip to Paris with Phil. We were there for a short week back in September and I managed to do a little bit of fabric shopping. So Paris has got a lot of fabric, haberdashery and knitting shops, and we only had a short week. It's not Phil's favourite thing to do, so we only managed to visit some of them. I would really recommend, Christine Haynes did a really good article for Seam Work. It was this issue of Seam Work, so it's issue 12, that has an overview of all the fabric shops, or a large number of fabric shops in Paris, but you'll be able to see some of those in today's video. And I also wanted to show you, so during the video, once we go in the fabric shops, there's a little overview of the fabric shops and then I show you what I purchased, but I wanted to go in a little bit more detail. So I only bought one pattern just because of finding the patterns that I had a few patterns in mind that I was hoping to spot in the shop, and quite a few of those weren't in stock, but I did manage to get this pattern by Republic de Chiffon, which is the Gladys dress. So it's really sweet. It's kind of a 1920s style loose shift dress, these little kind of capty sleeves. So I picked that up. It's designed for a woven. I'm quite tempted to try it in a knit as well. So I picked that pattern up, and then I did get some fabric. I was supposed to be not buying too much fabric, but Annika Bazaar, I got some Atelier Brunette fabric, so just the one, just a metre as well actually. So I was trying to be good and not spend too much money. So I'm not sure, probably a little blouse. Maybe a very simple A-line dress. That lovely viscose. And then the other fabric I purchased, so in the video you'll see Malia Kent, which is my favourite fabric shop in Paris. And they're actually a design house who weave their own fabric. And you can purchase, so they, obviously you can purchase clothing from them, but they also sell their own fabrics. You can buy them off the bolt. Off the bolt, they're about €30 a metre, but they sell offcuts and remnants, and the remnants they're €10 a metre. So what I have purchased, but because they're remnants, they're kind of odd lengths. It just depends what was left over. So I bought some, I think they're probably just over a metre, something like that. So this was one of the larger remnants I purchased. I have no idea what I'm going to make with these yet, but that's just gorgeous. And I got, what was my other larger one? I got this pink piece, which this is not very much at all, less than a metre. I might try and see if I can get a mini skirt or most of a mini skirt out of that one. And because these are woven, they all have really gorgeous, really interesting textures. And the other larger piece was this one, I think. So this again is very small piece, really. It's just one long, you can see that's very textured as well. It's all raised, and it's only that wide, but double the length. So that will need to be pieced into something. And then the other thing they do is they sell very small remnant pieces. And now I can't remember. I think these were something like a couple of euros for 20. I mean, just nothing, they're just trying to get rid of them, I think. But you get these really cool small pieces, and I did think afterwards, if I'd have been smart about it, I would have got colour coordinated pieces, and then I could have pieced them together and they would have matched quite well, but I didn't think of that at the time, so I just went for all the crazy clashing colours, which won't necessarily go together very well. But I've just got tons of these. You can see on that one, raised. So I won't go through them all because we'll be here all week. But yeah, so these were my purchases. That one's lovely. They specialise in these metallic threads in quite a lot of their fabrics. So yeah, so these are my purchases. And now in the video, so you'll see the fabric shops where I purchased these from. But you'll also see some of the sights of Paris, so what we got up to on this trip. This is the view over Paris from the Arab World Museum. You can get up on the roof, and there's also a really nice cafe up there, but you can just go up to have a look at the view as well. So the first fabric shop tour is Annika Bazaar, who developed the Atelier Brunette fabric, and they also have a really nice shop with haberdashery, other fabrics and indie patterns. So I thought while I was there I ought to get some Atelier Brunette fabric. So just picked up a metre of their lovely rayon. And then the second fabric shop pictured is Brune de Cousette, who they're really good for indie patterns actually. I'd recommend them if you're looking to purchase either UK, US or French indie patterns, and that's where I picked up the Republique de Chiffon pattern, the Gladys pattern. So this is just the Gare du Nord and the Canal Saint Martin area, which is a really nice place to stop for lunch or for drinks, and there's some really cute little boutique shops around here as well. Oh, and then this is Phil's equivalent of fabric shop, and he likes to find indie beer shops. So this is Moustache Blanc, which is one of the big beer shops in Paris. So then next fabric shop is Mercerie Cousu. They're really good for haberdashery actually. They had loads of haberdashery supplies, and they sell yarn and fabric. They've got some really nice fabric, lots of threads, etc. And then, so this is just walking through the Jardin de Luxembourg and the Pantheon, which is very close nearby. So my favourite fabric shop, Marlia Kent. So these are some of the cut remnants. So these, you put the, as mentioned at the start, they're €10 a metre, but it's just what's there. They're just cut remnants. And they also sell trims as well, some really very cool trims. And then this is the fabric on the bolt, so that's €30 a metre. And you can see where Marlia Kent is situated. So it's actually this is the Promenade Planty, and Marlia Kent's actually underneath. So there's some very cool shops underneath the walkway. So now this is one of my favourite museums. So this is the Musée Galliera, which is fashion museum there, and this is the lovely garden behind it. And there's a view facing the other way. You can see the Eiffel Tower from here. But they put on fashion exhibitions, but they're only open when they have an exhibition on. They don't have a permanent collection, so it's always worth looking if they've got something on. The exhibitions are always excellent. And then here's another one of Paris's fashion museums. So that's the Museum of Decorative Art and Design, which is in a wing of the Louvre Palace, and they had a Barbie exhibition on when we were there. So these are sets that were created for advertising, etc., which were on display as part of the exhibition, and these were all on the theme of couture. So these are kind of atelier, couture workshops, and then obviously a catwalk as well. And then this is the general exhibition, so these are different dolls on display. And lots of Barbie clothes. They had a huge wall with all Barbie clothes and accessories, colour coordinated. This is back to the Museum of the Arab World. This was a modern piece, modern collection that they had in their art exhibition. And then one of my favourite places in Paris, Cynthia de Pantheon. So this is a historic cinema, so it's been there since 1907. It has a single screen, and it's been a cinema continuously since it was opened. And they have this really lovely cafe on the top floor of the cinema. Catherine Deneuve was one of the designers of this, and it's just a really lovely spot. And we had it all to ourselves that time when we visited. So then finally, now this is outside Paris, so this is actually in Maison Lafitte, which is where we stay when we visit Paris. And you can just get the train into Paris every day. And Maison Lafitte has a chateau, and so this is inside the chateau. And when we went, we were the only people in the chateau, so we had it entirely to ourselves. I think there was one cleaner in there. And then now this is another trip outside Paris. So this is in Chantilly. So we visit Paris every year, and because we go every year, we try and do a day trip somewhere else to make sure we're not just going back to the same. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but make sure we're not just going to the same place every year. Try and see somewhere different. And we'd never visited Chantilly before, and it's a really lovely day trip. We got the train there in the morning. We should have gone even earlier because the palace is enormous. There's absolutely loads to see. So from the station you can walk to the palace. It's a reasonable walk, but you walk through wood, and then you walk through a park, and then this is at the Paris now. And the palace has enormous grounds. They're absolutely huge. So this is in the palace grounds, exploring